Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, let's explore together how to approach those overwhelming feelings when nothing seems to go right in your life. If you've been experiencing that persistent sense that no matter what you try, things just don't work out, you're not alone. Many people face these moments where life feels like an uphill battle. Today, we'll examine what recent science tells us about these experiences and discover some evidence-based approaches that might offer support. What's fascinating about recent psychological research is how much our understanding of helplessness has evolved. For decades, researchers believed that feeling like nothing goes right was something we learned through repeated failures. However, groundbreaking studies have revealed that this understanding had it backwards. Current research suggests that our brains are actually wired to assume we don't have control as a default response to stress. A research institution published findings showing that when we experience prolonged difficult situations, specific brain regions called the dorsal raphe nucleus become activated, releasing chemicals that naturally make us feel passive and unable to act. What's particularly encouraging is that these same studies found our prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning and decision-making, can learn to override this default helplessness response. Brain imaging research has shown measurable changes in people who practiced recognizing areas where they do have control, even small ones. The research suggests that this isn't about willpower or positive thinking, but about literally training our brains to notice and respond to the control we actually have. Additionally, a comprehensive analysis of multiple studies found that specific therapeutic approaches targeting negative thinking patterns showed significant improvements in people experiencing persistent difficulties. The statistical analysis revealed meaningful changes in depression scores, with effect sizes that researchers consider clinically significant. This research examined how certain thinking patterns, like assuming that one bad event means everything will go wrong, can maintain feelings of helplessness even when circumstances change. Now, let's discuss some practical approaches that research suggests might be helpful. The first method involves what researchers call control detection training. This means starting very small and identifying 3 things you can genuinely control each day. These might be as simple as choosing what to wear, when to drink water, or taking 3 deep breaths. The research indicates that our brains need concrete evidence of control to override that default helplessness response. Researchers recommend practicing this for about 5 minutes each morning when our prefrontal cortex function tends to be strongest. The second approach focuses on what psychologists call cognitive restructuring. When you notice thoughts like, "Nothing ever works for me," the method involves gently questioning whether this thought is entirely accurate and whether it's helping you move forward. Research has identified common thinking patterns that can keep us stuck, such as assuming that because one thing went wrong, everything will go wrong, or focusing only on negative aspects while overlooking any positive elements. The studies suggest that simply becoming aware of these patterns and asking yourself what you might tell a friend in the same situation can begin to create some mental flexibility. A third method that research supports is progressive controllability practice. This involves gradually expanding your focus from immediate, small controls to slightly larger ones over time. Week by week, you might move from controlling simple environmental factors to making choices about how you respond to challenging interactions with others. The research emphasizes focusing on your responses and processes rather than trying to control outcomes, which often lie outside our influence. Many studies also highlight the importance of activities that strengthen prefrontal cortex function. Brief mindfulness practices, even just 10 minutes daily, have shown measurable effects on brain areas involved in emotional regulation and decision-making. Simple problem-solving exercises that break complex issues into smaller, manageable steps also appear to build these neural pathways. The research suggests that even low-stakes decision-making practice, like choosing which route to take for a walk, can contribute to building confidence in your ability to navigate choices. It's important to note that research consistently shows these changes happen gradually. Studies indicate that neural pathway changes typically occur over weeks rather than days, so patience with the process appears to be important. The research also suggests that setbacks are normal and don't indicate failure, but rather opportunities to practice these skills. To summarize what we discussed today, first, feeling like nothing goes right often reflects our brain's natural response to stress rather than personal failure. Second, our prefrontal cortex can learn to override feelings of helplessness through practice recognizing small areas of control. Third, starting with tiny controllable actions can create measurable brain changes over time. Fourth, questioning unhelpful thinking patterns gently can create mental flexibility. Fifth, focusing on process rather than outcomes tends to be more sustainable. Sixth, progressive practice building from small to larger areas of influence appears most effective according to research. As we wrap up today's discussion, I hope some of these research-based approaches might provide a starting point for you. Remember that these feelings of helplessness are incredibly common human experiences, and seeking support, whether through these methods or by connecting with mental health professionals, shows wisdom and self-care. Change often happens more gradually than we'd like, but research consistently shows that our brains maintain the capacity to develop new patterns throughout our lives. If today's discussion provided any support, please hit the like button. If you'd like to continue learning about mental health together, please subscribe to our channel. May your hearts feel a little lighter, and thank you for listening until the end today.